going on, everybody? Today I'm here with Dylan. What's up, bro? How are you?
What's going on? How you doing?
Yeah, chilling. Thank you for coming on. So, we've known each other for a few years now. I literally met you. You were just telling me you're 20, so I must have met you when you were like 17.
I had to have been 17, yeah. Something like that.
We have like this cool little class at our office. It's awesome. Like people who are worth like millions and millions, like a wealth building thing. But they were coming in and they were talking, and he was in there. And I always tell the story. I was literally just telling him this, but when we first met, one of the other realtors in my class, like, he found out that you used to do music or whatever,
yeah.
And literally Baby by Justin Bieber was playing. He's like, is that his song? And I was like, I just met this realtor. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's his song. You've heard it before? He's like, yeah, that's an awesome song.
Yeah, that's me, guys. I'm
that's
Baby.
him. But I guess give everybody like a little intro what you do and kind of your business and stuff.
Yeah, I'll give my my elevator pitch. This is kind of what I give on a lot of podcasts I'm on. Yeah. I won't bore everyone with the social media music stuff because I've spoken about it on 1,000 different videos. But that's where I started. I kind of made a name for myself. Like, I want to say it was 7 years ago on social media. Started posting on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff. People started liking the content, liking the videos. Things picked up really, really fast. Grew to a little over 3 million followers across all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Led me into doing some music stuff, which was kind of just using the music, monetizing it throughout the social media platforms, whole bunch of stuff like that. And I guess we can say now I'm like retired, pulled back from the TikTok days.
Nice.
So I've been out of that for the last 2 years, just been focused on building my two businesses, one of them being a day trading related business, and then the other one being a brand new detailing shop that we just opened up over in Abington. So that's my quick elevator pitch.
No, that's awesome. I would think too, like without digging too much into that stuff, but how much do you think you know, like, as far as like, because I've been getting into the social side of things, like I guess like not the algorithm, but like I feel like have grown where like now creating content's a thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when you started, it was kind of like on the cusp of it being like, oh, this is something fun we do, to like, oh, like we can like find a way to monetize this, like you said.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if I want to say lucky or what it was.
It's fate.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I did, I just started posting. Like I was always in the beginning doing it for fun. It was never like to monetize or do anything. I was like 12 or 11 when I started. Yeah. So it was a long time ago. I didn't have anything else on my mind. I was just like, all right, let me just do this for fun. Everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
I guess I just had like a creative twist to put on everything, and traction
there's
just picked up.
There's an art to it though, for sure. Like think about it, like from the other context, like you're obviously almost 8 years now making content, so you have an idea of how to do it. Where like you're younger, but you've been making content more than everybody else.
Dude, it's a whole.
So you have experience in that.
It's a whole game. Everything content related. It's all so strategic, and a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people hate on certain content creators like YouTubers and stuff like that, but they don't see the actual behind the scenes of like how specific everything is. And there's like one little thing you do, if you mess that up and you post your video, it might mean a difference of a million views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not going to say that it's just this blood, sweat, and tears.
It's different.
Grind.
Yeah, you're not unstrapping the boots when you get home.
Yeah, it's not blue collar work, but it's so different. You really, really have to use your brain. You have to know what you're doing and what you're talking about to make anything work. And I think honestly, I'm blessed to have that initial social media experience just because of the fact that now I can build my other brands and my businesses that I'm working on, and I can build those off of social media. But if I didn't know how to use social media or do it properly, I probably wouldn't, have anything.
It's just such a place that you could pull confidence from. I feel like,
it is,
and like that's something where like for a lot of us, at least from the real estate side, a ton of people make content now, and like for me, I could do it too, and I feel like almost like in an artistic way, like I want it to be good, like I want to be proud of it in some sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like at least you're like, yo, I know what I have to do, and you're not worried, I guess, about what you're doing as opposed to how you're gonna do it. Like you know how to do it. Not I'm worried about the other way. Like I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure how to do it. Yeah. Whereas you're kind of the inverse, where you know how. It's just doing it and making it all work.
It's all muscle memory to me at this point.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but no, I mean social media is just it's a whole world, and I think it's only going to evolve. I don't know how it's going to evolve or what's going to happen over the next 10 years, but it'll happen.
Yeah, it's cool. So I wanted to I'll ask you too about so you're in Philly now. You were in LA for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I lived in LA when I was doing the social media stuff. It took me out there. I was making a ton of money here, like making the videos here, but there was a lot of opportunity to make money out in LA because that's where everyone was.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like it's just like anything else. Like, if you can just get in the room with a bunch of people that know what's going on.
Yeah, connections were big too. I mean, I connected and met so many people, ton of celebrities. I've been to celebrities' houses just hanging out there.
I feel like it's just like they give a blanket like invite out there. Yeah. Like, oh, you're here? It's cool. Let's see you. Come here. Yeah.
I mean, if you walk up to any like LA party in the hills or something, and there's a celebrity, and you show them your phone. Oh, I'm this big TikToker.
It's funny how
they're like, all right, come in.
It's almost like it's like a pass to get in. Like, here's my ticket to the concert.
Pretty much.
I have X amount of followers. Like, all right, you're in.
Yeah, you don't buy a ticket. You just have to have a bunch of followers.
Hilarious. That's so funny.
Yeah. LA's toxic, but I did well out there. I lived out there for like 3 years, and then 2 years ago I decided probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I decided to come back. Started to hate it. It was just like the lifestyle out there.
I would catch you like at the meetings when you'd be like in and out, coming back, and I could tell you're like, oh my god, it's a lot different vibe. I'd imagine in Philly than there, completely different.
It is. It's different. You got to adjust to it. I don't regret ever living there because I learned a lot, made a lot of connections. Almost more than half the people I know today that I have good connections with, I met out there. So it's a good environment out there for a little bit until you start getting sucked into all the bullshit, and everybody does at a certain point. You just have to know when to get out.
It's just everywhere. Yeah, you're like, all right, eject them.
Yeah.
So as far as the trade stuff, so how'd you get into that? Because I feel like that's very contrary to like the TikTok music thing, like completely different side, right? Completely. So how'd you decide to dive into that? Like, did someone introduce you to it?
Yeah, so I met a friend, no longer friends with him because we actually tried to go into business together with this before, helped him out a bunch. Long story short, he screwed me over. So I started doing my own thing. But I've always had like an interest in trading. When I would see YouTube videos, even when I was 12 years old, I would see these YouTube videos and I'd be like, oh wow, like, this kid's on his phone just clicking buttons and he just made $1,000. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I've always had an interest, but I never knew how to do it the right way. So I started trading 5 years ago. I was 13. I was doing everything under my mom's name because I couldn't, like, you have to be 18 to legally.
It's such a funny comparison, but like when you talk about it, like this is where like my Northeast brain goes. But like to me, it's such a similar environment to like gambling on sports.
It is.
Like it's almost like you're live betting. It's like, how can I live bet and figure this out? And it's ironically the same rules apply to that. Like I coach a bunch of kids that are younger and everything, and they're like, oh, like, and I'm like, you literally have to be 21. Like you're not getting around it.
Right.
Like you have an ID. Like you'd have to basically put someone else's stuff in there. Yeah.
Well, I thought
and
about
you're not
the
getting mine. You don't want my accounts.
Yeah. Stay away.
You're right.
But no, so I did everything under her name for the longest time, and luckily for a while, like I think I only started making money with trading when I was like 16 going on to 17. That was when I actually figured it out. But for the first 2 to 3 years or whatever that was, and I started just kind of dabbling in it and trying to learn, I tried to learn the hard way by, I don't need anybody else's help. Let me just go in. I can figure this out. It's going to be easy.
And it's cooler. Learning anything is just like getting your hands dirty and trying to get into the scene. Same thing like for what I'm doing, trying to get into content. It's no different for that. But like my question, I guess, would be, and I've done a little bit of trading, like way back in the day, I hit on the GameStop thing.
Yeah.
Like I made like 4K and I was out. And then I haven't touched it since.
Yeah, a lot of people were in on that.
I know, but I ironically, like during that time, like I was following people on YouTube, like anywhere else, I'm getting all this information, and they're the ones that are like feeding me the info, and then I'm making my own decisions. Like anyone that I hate when people are like, oh, well, I just followed this guy, and then you try to blame the loss on that person. It's like, nah, you have the information. And you figure it out. I just think it's hard, like with the media or anywhere else. Like, where are you getting valid information?
So
that's where it's the toughest part, right? Like, what's your source? I guess
a lot of people look at what I do, like day trading, as all right. Well, if you're consistently making money and nobody else can, it has to be insider trading, right? It has to be some sort of like some way that you're getting information that other people can't.
20-year-old Dylan here is plugged into the Pentagon.
Yes, I am. Oh my god,
he's got all the contacts.
I'd be on my yacht right now if that were the case.
Right.
Trust me, I've tried. I've tried to find sources that I can get from, but I can't. So yeah, with day trading, it's a lot different. It's not just like finding the right time to buy a stock and holding it and just letting it go all the way up and then you pull your money out. What I do is different. I trade futures and I use leverage. So I'm not trading the moves overnight. I'm not trading the moves from here till next week. I'm trading a move that happens in 5 minutes. So I'm in the market now. 5 minutes later, I'm out with.
I feel like you're almost reading the people buying the stocks more than the stock itself. Like, how relevant is that? Like, is it like, oh, like this information's gonna hit on a stock or a company?
Does nothing.
Right, like you're almost reading the person. Like another, just to make the comparison again, but like it's almost like in gambling, like when 90% of the market's on a side, you're gonna flip the other side. Or when it's live and you're like, hey, I know this team's really good and they're down. The numbers are all inflated. Like that's when things really move fast. So I feel like you're almost reading the consumer as opposed to the product.
A little bit. I mean, most of my trading is technical analysis, so it's.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen it in the movies, like on Wall Street and stuff. They have all these charts and
Right.
all the charts, and it makes no sense. That's what I look at. I look at the actual price action of the crypto or the stock or the commodity or whatever it is. I look at the back end of that, and there's different, I mean, there's algorithms, there's patterns, there's this, there's that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things.
So much stuff. AI is probably in it now.
Yeah. I trade one thing specifically. It's a strategy. It's called ICT. I've been trading that for a little while. It's been very consistent. But you're
that
trading.
because I have literally no
Oh
idea
man.
what you just said. ICT. What is it? Is that an acronym or something?
ICT. It's called inner circle trading. So it's a strategy that this guy came up with a while ago. And there's a lot of different strategies in the markets to be able to trade them the right way. I've tried so many strategies. ICT is the only one that I found like very consistent. So it's a certain way of trading and reading the charts and understanding when to get in, when to get out.
Right.
I couldn't really. I would need about an hour and a half to explain ICT
then
to you.
Then I don't need to know. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
You're gonna lose me in the first 5 minutes. So.
I read the markets. I read the little candlesticks is what they're called.
Yeah,
it's
I've
a
got
lot of
enough.
technical.
Like I have an idea of what you're talking about there, just from when the GameStop was going on. Like I was reading it, and you're kind of like trying to, for at least for me, like and as a normal consumer, no background on this, I was trying to time it out. Like I just thought all the boom is going, so I'm like, I'm gonna get in now, and then it went up, and then it was going up and down, and then eventually I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take the money.
Yeah, well,
but I'm sure there's a floor at some point, right? Like it's always gonna peak, and then it just gets.
There's always a peak. There's always a floor. There's always like it'll always be going up and down. That's the hard part about trading.
Right.
But the good thing is, the last week straight, the market, at least the crypto market, which is what I trade, it's been going nothing but down every single day.
There's a summit coming up, right?
There is, yeah. I didn't look too much into that recently, but the good thing about the way that I trade is I can trade long or short. So it's almost like picking the over-under with sports betting. Yeah. So I can make money even if the market's going down. So I can...
Yeah, you're just playing the opposite of
playing on
going,
both sides,
basically.
yeah. So that's another good
it's
thing.
It's like a hedge.
Exactly.
But,
so I always have the opportunities to trade. Been trading consistently for the last probably 3 years. That's when I really started to hone in on it.
Have you ever gotten into the new game, the coins? Any of them?
No,
the
I stay so far away from those. I've played around with them. Like I've tried it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I mean it's funny how it works though. But I just think it's hilarious when people are like, "Oh no, I bought like the Hawk Tua coin and I got screwed." Like, damn, you got that's like natural selection. That's fine. It's right there. Like, oh, you got screwed on the Hawk Tua coin.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought? I would have never guessed. Like, you know who did it? Whoever the girl is or whoever the group is that started it, they probably
they're the ones that took all your money. They're gone.
It's any of them meme coins, but at the same time, like it's all timing. Like if you can catch it when it's low and then it bumps up and you can get it off, it's like I think people realize that in the GameStop situation where it's like we can really gas this up as a group. Like, that's what I thought was cool about that dude is he's just like if we get enough people on board, it's gonna gas it up and it's gonna blow it up just because a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing are hopping in and buying.
Did you ever watch the movie about that?
I didn't. I heard it's sick though.
It's an awesome movie.
Nuts,
yeah,
right?
I would recommend watching.
I definitely got.
I forget what it's called, but it has the dude
it's the guy,
like Lauren Kitty or whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say he has like a weird name.
Yeah,
he's nuts. I heard him. Yeah, he didn't post for a while and he just posted it recently. I remember hearing about it. But
awesome movie.
That's all cool. How do you as far as like so I know you're on a Discord, right? So like. From a community standpoint, like how are you presenting value to somebody like just say you're watching this right now and you're like, oh, this sounds cool. Like how are you, I guess, are you giving them advice on what you're trading or are you giving information? Like how does that work?
So there's a fine line. I'm not a licensed legal advisor when it comes to making moves in
not
certain
a financial
markets.
advisor.
Not a financial advisor.
I know enough about the during the GameStop situation to realize you got to say that.
Yeah. And I have everything set up the legal way, the right way. I don't do any shady business like that.
Right.
There's so many people that come to me all the time and they're like, hey, you're making all this money. Can I give you like 10 grand and you just trade for me and you can keep a percentage or a commission. Right. I couldn't tell you how many people have asked me that, but I legally can't. Like,
so is that what's illegal? I have no idea what is illegal. So I guess that's what it is.
There's more. There's more to it.
Yeah,
so
I imagine it's complex.
With my Discord itself, the way that I run things, I have to be careful because I can't bring people into the Discord with a false hope because everyone can try to trade, but there's only so much I can do with people to help them. Because if they're not willing to actually put in the work themselves, they might come in, take one trade, and then they're pissed. And they're like, "Oh, I can't do this."
That's where I keep going back to it. But it's like gambling. Yeah. Like I'm in like a gambling Discord where like people just talk about information and say, "Hey, I'm on this or that." It's no different than any other Discord, I'd imagine. Like all they are at its core, I feel like, is trading information with like-minded people who are also in.
It is
like it's no different than a bunch of people for the Eagles meeting up at the bar and watching the game together. Like we all like the Eagles. Like you're all on the same vibe there. It's no different. You're just getting a group of people, and the cool thing about Discord is you could be anywhere in the world. Like, and as long as you're in the same interested group.
So I think the thing with that is I see a lot of people come into my Discord and leave because they just give up, and I've also seen a lot of people. I've helped individual people make six figures with trading. So it's like it depends on the type of person that's going to come in and their actual goal and what they want to do. I have the resources to be able to help people. But if somebody's going to come in,
you gotta be
they're not
all
going to put it. It's a long-term game.
Yeah, you're either in
people
the huddle
think
or
it's
you're
a get rich quick. It's not. No. You have to put in the work. So that's how the Discord goes on that end. I give great information, great education, great value, but it's not going to be anything where I'm telling you, hey, buy this. That's where it gets legally, whatever.
I give out. You can recommend. You can't tell.
I can tell people, hey, I'm taking this trade. If they want to follow it, that's good. But I'm not going to go and tell somebody, hey,
I could see how
this.
if you have enough of a following, like you could manipulate a stock in that sense.
You could,
Kind of like what Rory and Katie's trying to do.
You definitely could. But that always ends up with jail time, so I stay away from that.
It would be too hard, I feel like, too. I'd imagine you'd need like thousands and thousands and thousands.
You need a ton of people to be able to do
actually manipulate that.
I mean, what they do is they go in, they're not going to go in and try to pump like Target or something like that. They're going to go in and find these really, really small cap stocks that are really low, no trading volume, they're doing nothing, and when you take 5,000 people and push money into that, it goes to the ceiling.
Then they just pull the rug out, right?
Yeah,
so that makes sense. At this point, if you're in the trading world and you don't understand how that works, like you're not. This is not the game for you.
Yeah. But a big part of my trading, obviously, I trade on my own, make good income from that. But then I also have my Discord, which is kind of something that I just do as I'm trading. But the actual like learning portion of it, the dude that I mentioned that I helped make six figures, all of that is one-on-one coaching. So that's kind of like a little side thing I do for for people. I really don't do it a lot. I don't do it for a lot of people just because it takes a lot of my time to be able to do it.
You're digging. Not only do you have the time, you need the time to dig into your own stuff. But you're kind of digging into theirs and trying to get in their head, I'd assume, and figure out why they're making what move and whatnot.
There's a lot that goes into it. So I qualify people, and if somebody reaches out to me and I feel like they're very serious about trading, they're going to keep their head in the game, I'll probably take it on and help them out.
So how exactly? So you're on the crypto side, right? Like what's your opinion on all that? Like without getting too political or any of that stuff. I don't give a shit. I'll get political, so it don't matter to me. But I guess just with crypto, like from at its bare bones, when I understand it, like I know obviously you have the Bitcoin and Ethereum supplying the Bitcoin, right? My thing with that whole process that I don't get is like I understand that it's going to be like not regulated by the government, which is exactly why I feel like it's so hard for it to take off. Because I feel like the government would just be handing over the keys, and they're not going to want to do that. Any government in the world, like why would they want to get rid of the power over currency?
Right.
That's like their strongest.
I think that's their goal
on citizens.
Yeah, I think that's their goal right now. And I've realized I don't know if this is their actual plan, but I've been trying to figure out like how are they going to actually like make crypto fully centralized to the point where they can control it. It seems really hard for me to comprehend it, but now I see that they're coming out with the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, which is all it's essentially like you're taking Bitcoin, but you're turning it into a stock. So I think they're gonna really, really heavily push these Bitcoin ETFs. They're gonna show
because they could kind of manipulate.
They can control the ETFs, but they can't right now. They can't control specific.
That's why I think
themselves.
At its core, it's such a great thing, and I think it's awesome. But at its core, I just feel like some point in history, the government's eventually gonna come in and be like, "Yo, you're not controlling this shit. Like,
Right?
This is our thing. Like, you're not taking our thing. We like controlling currency."
Right.
So that's my whole thing with it. I'm like tough, but as far as it like are you if you're trading crypto, is that any different than trading stocks? Like, do you have to have like a crypto wallet and all those things?
It's different.
How does that work? Because like, are you just because I feel like that's the biggest hurdle for a consumer with like crypto in general. It's just like, I have this money, but it's not tied to a bank or account or anything like that. Like, what happens if it just goes away? You know what I mean? Like, you need a secure, I'll say wallet, whatever it is. I don't know the terms or none of that. So like, I guess you're just trusting in whoever owns the company that you're doing that with? You
are. The first biggest thing is to pick a reliable brokerage that has a good standing history. That's not, you know that they're not 2 weeks old and they might just rug everything.
Even the one thing I would think of too is like the big crypto.com one where it went all crazy and then they scammed it out. They had like all the celebrities doing and stuff. It's like, I don't think I'm going to put my money in that one.
Right.
But I'm sure there's some out there like it's any other business, like any other bank. Yeah.
So the goal is, at least with me and my trading, I take a percentage of the money that I have in crypto, and a portion of it goes onto a ledger. It's a cold wallet. It's a storage wallet that you hold. It's physical. So you can take, let's say USDT or Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever it may be that you're holding or that you buy or whatever.
Right.
Take that money. Don't plan on trading with it, but convert it into one of these coins, transfer it onto this cold storage wallet, and keep it physical. That way, if something ever happens with the brokerage, at least you have, let's say, half of your money or a quarter of it on this cold storage. They can't touch that.
It's like it's backed by it. It's almost like if you have money and they get rid of it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know to do that. A lot of people just have all of their money in their brokerage, and
you get locked out.
Yeah, as much as you can trust one.
That famous story of the one boy that has a bunch of Bitcoin on a hard drive and he doesn't know the password or something like that. Yeah. He's got like, it's like an iPhone. You get 3 guesses or whatever, and he guesses, and he has like 2 more guesses. It's got like $1 trillion.
You got to make sure you know your
That is like
password.
A movie, literally script right there.
Absolutely.
That is so funny. But I guess talk about the car stuff. I know like before you even started the detail when we met, I knew you're like a big cars guy. So like, how did that all happen? Like, you just getting into cars and stuff, was that just something you always had like a passion for?
Always. I mean, before I could drive, going into when I got my license, I've always just had some passion for working on cars, seeing cars go from one thing to another, nice cars, fast cars, sports cars, all that stuff. And it's not one of those like Lamborghini dreams where you're just like, oh, I want a Lamborghini.
Yeah, you're not into. I'll say this just because I know you and I know you're not like that, but like, you're not into the car because it's like got a rich status to it. You're into the cars because you like really fuck cars.
It's the passion behind the cars,
right. Which is a ton of people like that that are into cars. I feel like
definitely
a ton of dudes.
Yeah. And there's a great community as long as you hang out with the right people. It's just one of my, I guess, little side passion hobbies is cars and guns. And watches. That's just my forte.
Oh yeah, I have a few boys that are into that. Yeah, my one boy has like a small militia. He's just whenever he gets sad, he just goes and buys a gun. I'm like, all right, I hope you feel better. He's got 45 handguns.
Yeah, like, put a few rounds through it, and he's happy.
I know. I'm like, all right. He makes a ton of money, so it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
do whatever makes you happy, bro.
It can be an expensive hobby too. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, getting into the cars thing, I've always had a passion for it, and with me. Day trading, I trade for probably 2 to 3 hours a day, and then I'm done. Sometimes even less. Sometimes I'll trade for an hour.
On a schedule where you're like, hey, I'm popping in this time?
No, it's
just pop in and people are around.
I can wake up whenever, jump on whenever, trade whenever. So with me doing that, I got to the point where I was really, really bored out of my mind, just being home all day. I'm home trading, and then after I'm done trading, I'm home still. So I had to think of something to take my money, diversify it, put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And, not something like just throwing it in the stock market because I can't be doing something with that every day.
It's not predictable necessarily either. Yeah.
So I wanted something that I could take control of and actually build myself. So I figured, nothing better than a detailing shop with cars. I love being around cars all the time. I have a ton of boys that have cars and stuff that they'll bring it to the shop. And So at first we started it as I opened the shop 5 months ago. We started as just detailing because that's kind of like the entry level thing that you have to start to get into it. You build up a few clients from there. And then we got certified for paint correction, ceramic coating, a whole bunch of stuff that we just started doing recently. We're going to start doing window tint. We're going to start doing PPF soon. So there's a lot of services to expand on. But right now, we're in a shop. It's a little less than 1,000 square feet, so it's not the most ideal. Like, we have room to do what we need to do, but we need more room to be able to expand, bring on more employees. I have one employee on payroll right now, looking to bring on more, looking to have more cars in the shop, looking to have more services, but with that you need more space. So that's kind of the current goal, is expanding into a bigger shop. But I think we're gonna ride the summer out first, just because the summer's the busiest, and we don't want to be moving into a bigger shop. It's going to take 2 weeks. We don't want that 2-week downtime.
Right.
So we're gonna kick it through the summer, I think, and then work on next winter or next fall, getting into a much bigger space, hopefully. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's a ton of value in that business. Like, people obviously like getting their car cleaned. Like, it's a cool feeling. Like, when you have your car cleaned,
Yeah.
finally, like, oh, I'm the opposite. Like, I have a Kia that the Kia boys often come after.
Yeah.
So I'm not all the time like, oh, I got to keep it sharp. I used to be like that, and now I'm like, all right, well, they might just take it anyway.
Right.
Knock
right.
on wood, I low key think they've gotten tired of doing it.
Maybe
They've
I think it was just a trend.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we've all done it. Like,
Yeah.
cool, whatever. Like, we're done. Knock
Yeah.
on wood. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah. So when I clean my car though, I'm like, that's sick. So I guess as far as I know, you said for the summer, I would think the next step in detailing, I don't know shit about it, but like, do you think about having someone that could go like to their house, right? I feel like that's a big thing too.
Yeah, it's something it's something I thought about. Having a mobile fleet can be very helpful depending on your area and your location, but it could also work backwards and negative against you if you don't have enough clients that want the mobile service. It's not going to be worth buying a whole van, decking it out.
All
you need a Sprinter van.
stuff.
You need water hooked up to it. You need all this shit, and you need, you're paying insurance. You're paying fleet insurance. You're paying your employees' insurance to be able to drive the truck.
Of variables.
So what we do right now is we offer a pickup and drop off service, which right now just looks like, somebody gets sent out to your house. They pick up the car, bring it to the shop, do whatever needs to be done, and drop it back off.
Okay.
That's a little bit more.
Kind of just as convenient though. Like, it's not.
It is.
As long as you trust the person to take your car.
Yeah,
right? That's
sure.
it, yeah.
And I mean, we're fully insured up to $2 million to drive vehicles, so we could take a Lamborghini and,
right.
God forbid, we'll knock on wood. We don't want to
Yeah.
total the Lamborghini, but if we did, it'll be all right.
I do sometimes joking around, like I used to do when I was in college moving. Like, I used to move people, and
Yeah.
I'd tell people that, like, some of our clients for real estate, and I'll be like, dude, I'll do the moving, but like, you're getting the non-insurance price.
Yeah.
Just so you know, so the total opposite.
Right. So yeah, we're doing that right now, and I don't know that I'm going to lean more towards the mobile detailing, just because eventually we do kind of want to shy away from detailing. And
I feel like the shop central, like that idea makes more sense though. So if you're picking up cars, it's kind of mute that, like, it's still convenient. I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't even realize you were doing that. Sick.
Right. So we are doing that. I think if anything, with our more higher ticket clients, like the ceramic coatings that come in, the paint correction, those are like $2,000-$3,000 jobs. So when those come in, I think, right now we're not doing anything for that unless they want, us to pick it up or drop it off. We'll just have them drop the car off. But I think eventually we're probably going to get an enclosed trailer to, just as like kind of a courteous, hey, it's already worked into the price. It's already included. Don't worry about it. We'll come to your house. We'll load it up onto the trailer, take it to the shop, get it done, bring it back. And this way, you're not driving it. We're not driving it. It's an enclosed trailer.
Yeah,
so
there's
you're
no
not
risk at all.
Yeah, you're not going to.
all risk.
And I mean, it's the risk, but
too.
It's the risk, the liability, but it's also, when you ceramic coat a car and it looks phenomenal, but then you go and drive it to the client's house and there's like some dirt on it, all of a sudden it's like, shit, that sucks.
Yeah, you gotta like go over a pothole or something, which there's not that many in Philly, so you
or
don't
if
have
it's
to
raining
worry about it.
Yeah.
Nah, that's awesome. So
yeah.
What do you think, I guess, outside of this? So those are your two main things, right? I feel like the wheel's spinning in your head at all times. So.
Always.
Like, what else do you think
That's
you got?
That's probably how I got my concussion.
Yeah, literally.
Just spinning wheels.
The wheels going too much. Do you got anything else you think, like, as far as investment-wise you got going on?
I got a lot going on.
I got one for you, dude. I will pitch it to you live. I might cut this out just because I don't want to do it. But yeah. I think would be a sick business to start would be, like, an indoor, like, simulator, like, somewhere out here, like, how they do them. Kind of like a... Not like a Top Golf, but like you ever seen like Iron Golf or anything like that, where it's like you go in there, there's like 6 or 7 bays of golf simulators,
for simulators.
And then there's like a bar, right? But I just feel like that's such a space because there's so many people that want to golf now, and in the winter, like around here, like you can't really do it.
Nobody.
Exactly. Like in Northeast Philly specifically, like that's where I grew up, and I know like they don't have a couple of the country clubs have like a simulator, like one single simulator, but they don't have like that type of dig where it's like. Yo, you could come here, and I feel like it'd be easy to sell, like almost like a country club membership. Like, yo, if you came here for whatever, $300, $400, $500 a month, you can come whenever you want. Here's the time frame, and just fill it out. So that's one business I think would be sick to start. But like, I feel like you might have some cooking that would be good ideas.
I mean, I always
you don't want to display not any of the ones that you would have put on camera, right?
Well, I mean, I always have business ideas spilling out, but honestly, ever since I started the shop. I have a buddy who lives in Arizona. He has a detailing shop. I have a couple other friends that have them. And, you know, I just watch them go from even a room of this size, starting in something super, super small, and now they're in a warehouse 10 times the size of Keller Williams right there. And it's really opened my eyes to the possibility of shops like this. So my biggest focus right now is nothing other than the shop. That's awesome. All I'm just locked in on it right now, ready to get that warehouse.
Scalable, I'd imagine. Like
it is.
Get it up there. That's sick. Yeah.
And it's endless too because once you scale something, we're in Abington. Once we scale something there, and we're hitting the Abington, Richboro, Fort Washington, all those areas. Then we go take a hike up to King of Prussia, pop one up there, and now you have a whole different group of people that's only 10 miles away.
That's, I feel like, a good clientele, too, because, like, obviously they're a little bit more wealthy. I went to Westchester, so I used to go out to KOP all the time. Yeah,
Chester County's a great area. That's probably my next
target. I'd be taking all their stuff. They'd be, like, throwing trash out for $1,000. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm going to
throwing their Gucci suits out.
I have a TV that's, like, from one of their houses one time. It was, like, a big, like crazy one that I put in my college house.
My apartment up in KOP, literally probably every weekend I'd go into the trash room, and there's on every floor there's a separate trash room, and when people are throwing away trash, I'm on the very top floor, so everyone up there, nobody's dragging their trash all the way down the stairs, so they put it in the trash room, and every single day that I go in there, there's always something different. I found like five flat screen TVs in there. I found couches that are perfect condition. Like, it's crazy. They just...
I don't have my phone. It's on the recording. You would laugh at this. I feel like this is something you would know about. But shit you not. I'm at my fiance's family's house. They just have like a little bar in their basement. They're drinking there. There'd be nothing going on, so we popped over. They have an old box of fucking Pokemon cards from the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know enough about it to know, like, I literally figured out, like, all right, how do you know it's, like, one of the legit ones?
Right.
The kid that did them, he, rest in soul, he's passed away, but he fucking put them in the packaging right when he bought them. In the 90s.
Wow.
So I'm like, they're like, yeah, like, do you want them? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want them. I'm like, give me them right now.
That's a score.
I know. She's like, and I'm like, literally on eBay going through them and all. I'm like, oh my God. Like, and I used to have them when I was a kid. Yeah. Like, I don't, that was past your time probably. You didn't have them, right?
100%.
In the early, we used to have the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards though, but we fucking used them all.
Yeah.
Like, and the funny part is, he has them in a package, like, not like the slit that you'd put it in. It's like literally like, I don't know how to describe it, like
the hard case packaging almost?
No, it's not that. It's a package, but it's like something you would have, like, I don't know, it has like that seam in the package where you could twist it and pull it apart.
Oh, like brand new in the package.
Right, but he put it in there.
Oh.
But when it's funny, when I first looked at it, I'm like, yo, are you dead ass? Like, it looks like it just cracked in half.
Right.
I'm like, they were used, and then I'm looking in, I'm like, no, it's like literally like an old, like you would like a card pack, right, where you pull it and there's that like perpendicular little piece you pull. Yeah. Well, he put them in his own specific clear ones that are like that. I'll show you when we're done here. Yeah. But literally, when I first looked at them, I'm like, yo, they're like absolutely trashed.
Wow.
I'm like, this is useless.
Right.
And then she's like, no, they're in a package. I'm like, I see it's in the package, but it's trash.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, like literally that's just the cover where you pull it apart. I'm like, oh my God, he like actually sealed it.
Right.
I'm like, this is incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's a nice come up.
I know. I'm literally gonna be like, yo, we got to get them. But
Yeah.
Nah, that's funny. But you got anything else? You
I got one last thing.
Yeah, shout it out.
I hate the way that purified water tastes.
Oh, dude,
I don't
I'm
know.
out on purified water.
I don't know
altogether.
if this is just me. I've had this conversation with so many people, and I have to have this with you.
I'm out on it all the way.
Do you think that all water tastes the same, or do you think there's certain waters that taste different?
I'm full. First off, I'm full on the spring water.
Good.
All
Me too.
together.
Me too.
That's what I've moved on. If someone hands me a purified water, I'm not like, yo, I'm not touching. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
a ball. I'll drink it. Trust me, I drank it for
I'm
years.
thirsty, so I'm drinking it right now. But
yeah.
I'm thinking
I used
about
to
it.
crush the tap too. One of what's funny, like on that subject, my house got a new house. It just got all done and everything.
Yeah.
We got the sink, and like for some reason, it's like this in a lot of Northeast Philly too. Like I asked people, like it's like when you turn it on, there's like it almost looks like there's like a fog in the water.
Yeah, there is.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, and my girlfriend's like, oh, if you shake it, it goes away. I'm like, that don't
That's
look
not normal.
good. Yeah. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I'm not touching that. I'm like, water's $4.
Yeah.
I was like, I will buy a couple cases of water. Like, I'm not that broke right now, but it's just crazy how that is. But someone one of my girl's cousins used to work at one of them places where they purify the water, and he's like, bro, I had to wear a hazmat suit. He's like, you couldn't even take it off and breathe. And he's like, I don't touch that shit. And he's like a rough, like blue collar dude. He's
Right.
like, I don't touch that shit.
That's crazy.
And then right then and there, I'm like, yeah, I'm out on that. I think altogether.
Yeah, I switched to spring water, like
I
in
was
a glass
looking at the
bottle
hydrogen
if possible.
water, yo. You can make it hydrogen. You can like inject it. I was like, that's
I don't know
fucking
if- I don't know if I
wild. I don't know if
trust
that's
that.
good either.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
No, I'm big on the spring water now.
All right,
so.
good. I just wanted to make sure.
I have the only tap I'm on. I just know too, without getting too into it, like RFK was like, yo, the fluoride, whatever, is it fluoride?
Fluoride, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, that's bad for you. I didn't dig too into why it's bad, but I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't really trust much that goes on anywhere now with anyone.
I don't either.
Yeah, on that side. So I'm usually like, yeah, if someone else is saying that's bad for you, I'm probably out on it. But I do still have it. Like I'm big like ice. Like I love ice.
Oh, me. I can't
like,
drink water. Like
that
this
was,
is
like-
ice cold, but I can't drink.
Yeah, my
warm
old place,
water.
I used to like live at one of my boys' cribs, and I would rent off them, and we didn't have ice. We had like the actual tray, and I consume too much for that to be relevant.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have a cup and then put it in the fridge and have it tomorrow.
Right.
Like, I need to have it accessible. So now that was
too.
like my only thing for my girl. I was like, I don't care what you do at the house, design it how you want, whatever. I need a fridge that has ice. And
Right.
like now that I have it, that shit comes from the tap. That's whatever fluoride. It's got all the veg in it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, me too.
I need
Yeah.
my ice, dude. When a drink's on ice, it's so much better.
That is true. That's right.
But all right, bro. I appreciate you sliding.
All right,
Yeah,
absolutely.
appreciate you.
Very nice being here.
Yeah, all good.